Ghana, one of the fast developing lower middle income countries in the world. The country achieved double-digit growth of 13.5% in 2011, and future economic growth is expected to average between 4 to 7%. Projections by the IMF indicate that Ghana's imports and exports will expand between 15 and 18% annually, and exports could reach a level of $16 billion by 2017. In spite of this potential, Ghana is currently going through a lot of turbulence in its economic fortunes. The country is currently faced with huge trade and budget deficits, depreciation of the Ghana cedi against major foreign currencies, rising inflation, and high lending rates. It is largely believed that part of the problem stems from the narrow export base of the country amidst high rate of imports. However, promotion of Ghana's non-traditional exports, such as palm oil, pineapples, fish, and other food products, also faces setbacks due to either poor quality of products or high rate of chemical residues and other phytosanitary issues. It is to remedy these challenges, make exported products meet international requirements, as well as enhance the capacity of quality institutions in Ghana, that the Ministry of Trade and Industry, with funding from the European Union, conceptualized and is implementing the Trade-Related Assistance and Quality Enabling Program, TRAQUE. Technical support for the program is being provided by Agri Consulting Europe SA.
TRAQUE, in actual fact, is an acronym which stands for Trade-Related Assistance and Quality Enabling Program. It's a EU-funded project with a budget of 50 million euros. And it has three components: the trade components, the quality components, and the grant components.
The TRAQUE program is aimed to support the government of Ghana to expand the capacity of the country in terms of trade and international import-export opportunities, both in the food and not-food sector. The importance of the service that have to be provided by the government in order to support the private sector to increase their capacity and potentiality to comply with the international rules, in particularly with those of the market of destinations of their products.
This program actually came as a result of a financing agreement which was signed between the government of Ghana and the EU, and to help Ghana to be more competitive, both domestically as well as in the international market.
Trade is a very important part of the relationship between the European Union and Ghana. As you know, the European Union is a market, a single market of 28 countries, and Ghana exports to that market. In fact, almost half of Ghana's exports go to the European market.
Last year, 2013, 30.5% of Ghana's trade with the world has been done with the EU. And this amounts to an amount of around 6.8 billion euros. So we are the biggest trading partner and also, more importantly, the biggest export market for Ghana.
So we have a very big trade-related development program in Ghana. It's one of the biggest programs focusing on that area. And so that's why we have this program, this TRAQUE program, which is trade-related assistance working on improving quality. I think the Q is for quality. Very much an emphasis on assistance, which is in the area of trade, but also on focusing on the quality of goods, which is so important if you're to have access to high-quality markets.
And for some time now, most of our products, when they get to the EU market, are rejected as a result of contaminants. Granules and its related products, they are found to contain high levels of aflatoxins. The same with yam. They are found to, at times, contain overdose of pesticide residues. And these products get rejected. As a result, as a country, we needed to put our acts together, to be able to access this market once more. Since we had a strategy of developing with exports, as export-led growth, it was necessary for us to really develop our structures, which is the national quality infrastructure, to be able to meet those international requirements.
A large segment of Ghana's exports to the EU are in the food and produce sector.
If you look at the current exports from Ghana, of course, apart from oil and fuels, and that's important, but the other areas are to do with agriculture, bananas, pineapples, cocoa, of course, cocoa and cocoa products, and fish as well. So, but apart from oil, the main exports from Ghana are in the food sector.
Europe, particularly the food sector, is very, very sensitive. In the sense that in Europe there is a lot of the attention to consumers' protection. So consumers want really to know what they are eating, the quality, in the sense where the product has been produced, if they have been produced according to rules, not only strictly production rules, but also regarding the environment, the social requirements. So it becomes a very vast subject.
It is critical that EU requirements in that sector are complied with. One such major requirement is traceability. Traceability is about unbroken chain of records, which is a tool to verify claims and assure buyers about the source of their materials. Traceability through accurate maintenance and retention of records provides the ability to identify and track a product or component to its point of origin. This enables product failures or faults to be traced, identified, and confined to identifiable material. Traceability rules in the food and produce sector are quite stringent in the European Union. Therefore, this is an area in which Ghana has to build capacity.
Traceability. The buyer is by law that everybody has to know where the food is coming from. Either it is already processed, semi-processed or raw food. So all these aspects have to be considered and they are not easy to comply with. In Ghana, this traceability is not in place. Or is a very early stage with not very well defined rules. So there is a lot of improvement that potentially are there to ensure that when a product is produced and sold, we know where it comes from, and it has been controlled by someone, some authorities.
Incorporating traceability rules and requirements in its operations has greatly contributed to the success of Beaumont Farms.
With the trade component, it's looking at building the capacity of the staff of Ministry of Trade and Industry and its related agencies like National Board for Small Scale Industries, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Ghana Standards Authority, and the other related agencies. When it comes to the quality components, we are looking at, coming out with our national quality policy in conjunction with our quality institutions where we are trying to upgrade them to international standards so that our products, when they go through the necessary conformity assessment, will be able to access the international markets. Coming to the grant program, with that component, about 700,000 euros was given to 4 institutions. And these institutions are Ghana National Board for Small Scale Industries, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, as well as Ghana Standards Authority. They are supposed to come out with their own micro projects related to their mandates.
After the launch of this facility, the organizations are working to discharge the mandate for which these grants were given. The National Board for Small-Scale Industries has chosen to concentrate its efforts on small-scale businesses in the food sector. Hitherto, quality and standards in the food sector were rather low, leading to frequent outbreaks of foodborne diseases such as cholera.
Under the Trade-Related Assistance and Quality Enabling Program, NBSSI seeks to implement 2 main activities. One is sensitization or training, 2 days capacity building in food safety and quality management. And the target beneficiary are the micro and small scale operators, the business advisors of National Board for Small Scale Industry, the project officers, the business development officers that work in our organization. Then the second support is to do with quality upgrading at the enterprise level, where we seek to assist 10 enterprises to install a food safety management system so that whatever product they come up with eventually meets the required local standards as well as the internationally required standards.
One such business is Blessed Child Foods.
Food is very, very vital. It can kill, it can save a life too. I remember when we were going through the training, we were taught one thing that we should bear in mind, that how many people do you want to kill? You know, I don't want to kill anybody. So I also make sure that my workers go through training, hygiene training, food hygiene, even personal hygiene training, so that there will not be any contamination into the food that is going to the consumer. We make sure that they wear their caps, they wear their nose masks, they're wearing their protective clothing so that there won't be any contamination.
Through the training, Madam Abekwe has now improved her processes so that her products achieve quality standards. One major quality institution involved in the TRAQUE program is the Ghana Standards Authority. The Ghana Standards Authority, GSA, was established in 1967 and was then known as Government Chemical Laboratories.
Our mandate is that we are supposed to see to the quality infrastructure of the nation. And when we talk about quality infrastructure of a nation, we are talking about standards, metrology, and conformity assessment. The conformity assessment has three parts. That is certification, inspection, and testing. So these are the things that we do here.
The GSA also develops standards for various products and services. It is responsible for testing, inspecting, and certifying a wide range of products, of which critical example is building products. In this area, the work of GSA can make the difference between public safety and disasters that claim hundreds of lives.
With metrology normally deals with measurements, volumes, weights, and like our newly found oil. When you talk about the volumes that are being drilled, we are supposed to be there to measure the volumes and to verify that the amount of volumes that they are talking about is real, because government has shares in it. Things like calibration of fuel pumps to make sure that the volumes that the fuel pumps are delivering are actually the volumes, because we have instances whereby people go and tamper, and then the person will tell you that he's giving you 1 gallon, but in actual fact, it's not 1 gallon. Things like pressure gauges in factories and whatnot, we'll calibrate them so that they function properly. And then when it comes to conformity assessment, testing, inspection, and certification, you inspect products to make sure that whatever they've stated really are the things that you see in the product, because we have laboratories that will test for these components, or will test for the ingredients that are that one will say that I have in my product. The TRAQUE program is coming from the EU, trying to help agencies like ourselves, FDA, and others. For now, what I know is that some of the equipment are in at the port. Is going to help us in the long way, because an equipment like IPC, it's an equipment that you can use for so many, like you take maybe water and want to know the minerals in it. It can instantaneously give you about 10 varieties. We have auditors from Tooth Island. It's a German institution. They train auditors, accredited laboratories. It's auditors who come to audit your systems, and these are the auditors that we are training. So TRAQUE, in another way, is also training people as far as the auditors are concerned.
Another critical institution concerned with the TRAQUE program is the Food and Drugs Authority.
The Food and Drugs Authority is mandated by the Public Health Act 2012, Act 853, to implement the highest measures and standards for safety and efficacy of foods, drugs, cosmetics, household chemicals, and medical devices that are locally manufactured, imported, distributed for sale and use to protect the consumer. We also do market surveillance of products. One, to ensure that all products that are out there are registered, so that if there are any products out there that are not registered, we bring them in and pass them through the process to ensure that they are safe for the consumer. The Food and Drugs Authority has been part of the TRAQUE program since officially April 2014. And the project that the FDA is running, we have 3 components. Of the 3 components, the first one is the renovation of the lab, which has been completed, and we will be supplying us with 3 HPLCs. We also have 1 thermal gravimeter as well. We are also going to train our officers so that they will acquire knowledge to help them to do, various activities very well. So we have 10 courses that we are planning for our staff. We have courses on foodborne disease surveillance and investigations. We have a course on apiculture. Apiculture relates to honey, on the safety of honey. We've had issues with honey and it's a new area. And this hard skill is very essential for us so that we can be on top of our game when it comes to the safety of honey. There's a section of it that is to strengthen our market surveillance. And it's a system that we are putting in place, and we'll be procuring 50 tablet PCs. And then we will have 1 mid-size server. And we're going to use a web content management system. And what that means is that officers of the board would have available to them some information on registered products. Currently, we have a list on our website where everybody can go and find out whether a product is registered or not. But with this system, it will contain additional information that would help officers take decisions in the field.
Food Research Institute, one of the quality institutions, is having one of its laboratories rebuilt and expanded, in addition to new equipment to be installed.
So food research is basically about helping the food industry to grow. And when we say to grow, we want them to produce foods that are safe for the consumers and foods that will also last a long time and not have a very short shelf life. So we look at the hygiene indicators, that's the aerobic microorganisms, the yeast and molds, and the coliforms. And we also do pathogenic tests, that's the Salmonella, the Clostridium, the Staphylococcus aureus. So we do all this to test whether the foods that are being sold on the markets are acceptable for consumers.
So in the chemistry division, food chemistry division, we have 2 labs. We have the general chemistry lab and the toxicology lab. The toxicology lab is into analysis or determination of aflatoxin content in foods. Basically grains, cereals and legumes, so maize, beans, millet, peanuts, etc.
Some businesses in Ghana are already implementing quality processes and are reaping the benefits. Niche Cocoa is another business producing at very high standards for the export market.